Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Ashutosh, Akshay,
Morning, ma'am.
Hansel, Seema, Sivam, and Sonu. Okay, very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss about group discussion, GD. You all know that group discussion is an important part in the selection process. We have to face GD if we want to get selected. And for that, we should know what are the basic manners and etiquettes we should follow while participating in GD. Okay, GDs are held not only to what can I say? Not only to evaluate language skills but also to judge or assess, you can say, but also to assess behavioral and attitudinal responses of the participants. So, what kind of a person the participant is, what are the qualities the participant has. So in order to evaluate the participant as a whole, the GDs are held. So don't think that GDs are held only to just evaluate language skills. No, they are going to evaluate all the qualities in you, like here you can see leadership qualities, openness, assertiveness, initiative, motivation, reasoning ability, awareness. All these personality traits, all the qualities are going to be evaluated. And in our today's class we are going to discuss in detail about each quality. Okay, how can you exhibit leadership quality, how can you exhibit openness, how you can be assertive, how you can show your initiativeness, how can you can exhibit your motivation or reasoning ability or awareness. We are going to discuss in detail. Okay, but before that we should know what is a GD. Here you can see a GD is a formal discussion which involves some participants who sit in a group to discuss a topic given for this purpose, and the duration is usually 40 to 45 minutes, and GD is used to judge professional skills, behavioral and attitudinal responses. Which are behavioral and attitudinal responses? I have told you, like leadership qualities, openness, assertiveness, initiative, motivation, reasoning ability and awareness. Now let's discuss in detail. Leadership qualities. How can you exhibit leadership qualities? How you can show that you are a leader? Now, first point is ability to shape GD constructively. How can you shape GD constructively? Suppose a discussion is going on and the discussion just drifts away from the topic. So what you can do is you can show direction to the group. You can say that the topic you can say that the discussion drifts away from the topic and you should return to the topic. Okay, suppose there are some insignificant things that are going to be discussed, then you should that means that the topic drifts away, right? So you should, like a reader, you should show direction to the group, you should return to the topic, and this is how you can shape GD constructively. And another thing, how you can shape GD constructively, you can initiate the GD, that means you can start the GD, and then you can conclude the GD, you can analyze each and every points, you can express your points very confidently. And as I have told you the point that if the topic drifts if the discussion drifts away from the topic, you can return it back. So in this way you can shape the GD constructively. Okay, because this is an important quality of a good leader. Okay, and if you want to exhibit leadership quality, then you have to shape GD constructively. Now next point is coordinate the entire group. Yes, you have to coordinate the entire group, because as a team leader, a team leader generally coordinates all the team members, right? A team leader always listen to the other team members what they want to say and coordinate the entire group. Similarly, you have to coordinate the entire group, your co-participants. Okay, next is lead the conversations to a definite goal. Yes, you have to lead the conversation to a definite goal. Whenever we discuss something, we have some conclusion, right? We have to go to some conclusion. We are discussing, so obviously we have to achieve a goal, we have to definite a goal, we have to conclude our discussion also, and you can lead the conversation to a definite goal. Okay, suppose uh, you know, there is a structure of a GD. At first starting, then analyzing each points, there will be so many persons who will express their points of view, and finally conclusion. So you have to lead the conversation to a definite goal, to a definite conclusion. When you find that yes, all the discussions have done, all the participants have have already expressed their views, then now it's time to conclude the topic, then you can lead the conversation to a definite conclusion. And you can check digressions means insignificant things. There is a topic, whenever we are participating in a GD, there is a topic, and we should we should discuss relevant things, right? We should not discuss insignificant things which are not related to the topic. And if you find that some insignificant discussions are going on, then you can tell them that the discussion drifts away from the topic, and you can return it back to the topic. So in this way you can check digressions means insignificant things. So these are all leadership qualities, and you have to exhibit your leadership qualities. You have to remember that GDs are held not only to assess your language skill, not only to see whether you are fluent or not. No, they will also assess all the qualities in you. Okay, whether you are a good leader, if you have all the leadership qualities or not, or if you are expressive enough, if you are cooperative or not, or yes, you are humble or not. So all the qualities they are going to assess. Okay, so you have to exhibit all the qualities you have. Okay, now next is openness. How can you exhibit openness? Here openness means flexibility. Like obviously you should express the view of you should express your views, you should express very confidently what you think, but at the same time you should analyze all the pros and cons of the issue irrespective of a particular stand. Suppose you are taking a stand, okay, you are saying something in support of a topic, but you have to analyze all the pros and cons. This is what is flexibility all about, right? So what I want to say is that you should express your view, but at the same time you should respect the views of others also. Okay, you have to be flexible enough. Second point is opinions should be qualified. Okay. Whenever you are expressing your views, you should have strong point. You should confidently express your point. And if you are confident enough, then no one can beat you. Right? So, your opinion should be qualified enough. Third point is should not show a peremptory attitude. Well, what is peremptory attitude? That is rigidness. If you are very rigid, if you just stick to a point, and if you are not ready to accept the views of others, then you are showing a peremptory attitude, and which can create a negative impression, which will be considered a flaw in your personality. So you should not show a peremptory attitude. You should be always flexible. You should respect the views of others. Suppose someone is saying something and you disagree with that person. What will you do? You should politely say that, yes, my friend, you were saying your point of view, but I think that, then you have to express your view. So always you have to be humble, you have to be polite, you should remain calm and composed, and then you should express your view, and at the same time you should be flexible enough, you should not be rigid. Okay. Now, assertiveness. Well, assertive means, demonstrative. So, how can you exhibit assertiveness? You must express your point to the entire group in a very emphatic, positive, and confident manner. But don't get confused between assertiveness and aggressiveness. Yes, assertive means demonstrative, but an aggressive person always use negative body language. When someone is aggressive, he or she will definitely use some negative body language, which shows that that person is aggressive. But an assertive person always displays positive body language while speaking or listening to others. Okay, so you have to express your views in a positive manner and in a confident manner. You should emphasize on your stand, and you should display confidence while delivering your views. You should have positive body language, and always remember to be humble enough to respect others' values. Okay. Now, initiative. Well, I would like to recommend all of you to start the GD. But obviously, before starting the GD, you have to remember, or you have to think that if you are well versed with the topic or not. If you are not well versed with the topic, and if you just fumble or stammer, then it can create negative impression. If you are well versed with the topic, and if you can speak fluently, or if you can express your point very confidently, then try to start the GD, because if you start the GD, then it suggests that you have that capability to initiate something. So try to take that initiative to start the GD. Okay, but you have to remember before starting that whether you are well versed with the topic or not. Okay, and if you are not well versed with the topic, then no need to start the GD. And if you can, always try to be a beginner in a GD. So this is what about initiative. Now move on to motivation. Okay. As I have told you that GDs are held to assess your leadership skills, so you have to exhibit good leadership skills, right? And a good leader always motivates other team members, always motivates, always encourage the participants. So as a good leader, you have to encourage the participants. Okay, these will reflect your positive trait. It's a very common thing. Most of the participants always try to speak continuously. They are not willing to give the opportunity to others to say something. But this is a negative trait. A good leader always encourages others to say. A good leader always listens to others. Okay, so if you want to exhibit good leadership qualities, then you should listen. You should listen well to others, right? Obviously, you have to express yourself. You have to express your strong points very confidently, but at the same time, don't try to dominate the discussion. Dominate the discussion means, just speaking continuously and never give opportunity to say something. So don't try to dominate the discussion. Encourages others to say something. It's a very good trait, good quality. So try to motivate other participants to say. If you find someone remains silent, okay, that participant is not willing to say anything, so you can encourage that participant to say something. In this way you can exhibit leadership qualities. They will not only assess your speaking skill, they will also assess your leadership skills and other skills also. Okay, now awareness. You must be aware of the things that are happening around you, right? Be it a political, religious matter, or social development, or financial. You have to be aware of the things because you are an educated person, right? So you are required to be aware of all the things happening around you. And if you are aware what are the things happening around you, then you will be able to provide proper examples. You will be able to provide proper analysis and adequate facts in GDs, right? So you need to be aware. Now reasoning ability. How can we exhibit reasoning ability? By providing rational and convincing speech. As I have told you, you have to express your views very confidently, and if you have strong points, then no one can beat you. So you have to express yourself in a convincing way. you have to provide some convincing speech, and this shows your reasoning ability. Okay. Now, very important topic we are going to discuss here. Difference between GD and debate. What's the difference between GD and debate? These are not similar. There is a difference. What's the difference? In debate, we generally speak either in favor or against the topic. There are some persons who are speaking in favor of the topic, and there are some persons who are speaking in against of the topic, right? But in GD, there is no predetermined stand. All the discussion in GD naturally evolves. Okay, so there is no predetermined stand, and even one can change their stand if they find themselves convinced about the other side of the perspective. Another difference is, in GD you are flexible and open to different opinions, but in debate you have to remain firm on your stand. Okay, so these are the differences between GD and debate. Now, group etiquettes and mannerisms. Okay, so group etiquettes. You all know that in any kind of group task, be it a project or presentation or discussion, any kind of group task, the behavior of the group really matters a lot. We should follow some etiquettes and manner when we are participating in any kind of group task, right? So similarly, in group discussion also, there are some etiquettes and manners you should follow if you want to present yourself as a person having good personality. Okay. First point is being friendly and approachable. Yes, this is very important. You have to be always a friendly person, an approachable person. And if you are a friendly person, then your co-participants find you easy to talk to, right? And if you are a rigid person, if you are not flexible, if you stick to on any particular point, then you are not a flexible person, a friendly person, an approachable person. So always try to be a friendly person with whom your co-participants find easy to talk to. Okay, and you have to remember that with your non-verbal language also you can send the messages that you care for what others have to say. And if you show that you care what others have to say, then you will be considered as a friendly person, an approachable person, because a friendly person always care for what others have to say, right? So, and how can you show this? Through your non-verbal language. And another thing is, suppose there is a silent performer, okay, that participant is not able to say anything else or not willing to say anything else, then what you should do is you can encourage that silent participant to say something. Okay, so in this way you will be able to show that you care for what others have to say. You are a friendly person, and this is a very positive trait. And as I have told you that all the qualities are going to be assessed through GD. GDs are not held only to assess your language skills. No, they are going to assess, they are going to judge all the qualities in you. What kind of a personality you have, what kind of a person you are, they are going to judge. So you have to prepare yourself. Okay. So first point we have discussed. Now move on to the second point. Not hurting anyone. Yes. Never hurt anyone. Suppose you disagree with your co-participant because your co-participant is saying something and you disagree with that point. So what you should do is you should politely express your view. Maybe you disagree because we all have different mindsets. We all think differently. A thing is right to me, the same thing may be wrong to you, right? We all have different mindsets, and it's a very common thing to disagree with another person. But never hurt anyone, never make any comments so that the others can get hurt. You have to express your view very politely, even if you disagree with your co-participant. Okay. Next point is not being dominative or dismissive. Yes. Don't try to be a dominative person, or rather don't try to be a dismissive person also. Okay, so don't try to be a dominative or dismissive person. Don't try to dominate the discussion. That means give opportunity to others to share their views, and don't be a dismissive person also. You have to be confidently share your views, right? And as I have told you that GDs are held not only to test your language skills, they also see how you tackle the situation, your presence of mind, your tolerance, your ability to adapt to the situation, how you are responding to the situation. So all the qualities are going to be evaluated. Okay. Next is encouraging participation. Is encouraging participation we have discussed. How can you encourage a silent participant? How can you encourage others to speak? We have discussed. Now avoiding emotions. Okay. So avoiding emotions. How can you avoid your emotion, and why should you avoid your emotion? I am going to give you an example, but before that, let me tell you, emotions are very common and natural to human nature, isn't it? We all are emotional, but it is not desirable to overplay your emotions while participating in a GT. How you can avoid emotion? Let me give you an example. Suppose the topic is that yes, the topic is about women's liberation, okay, about women's freedom, and someone is sharing his or her view, and that participant is against the freedom of women, or that participant is saying something against the freedom of women. And if you are a women participant, as a woman, if you get emotional and if you make some comments, okay, it will be considered as a negative trait. Okay, maybe you are emotional, but you cannot overplay your emotions while you are participating in a GD, right? So you have to remain calm, composed, and always express your view logically. You have to express strong points. Okay, and never get emotional. And leadership qualities we have discussed. Okay, now here are some tips for GD. Here you can see do's and don'ts in GD. What are the things that you should do while participating in GD, and what are the things you should not do while participating in GD? At first, do's. First point is maintain eye contact. You all know how important maintaining eye contact is. So you have to maintain eye contact. If you don't maintain eye contact, then it can create a barrier to communication. So if you want to be a good communicator, if you want to be a good conversationalist, then you have to maintain eye contact. Sound convincing, yes, you have to present yourself in a convincing way, and you have to present convincing speech. Steer the discussion smoothly, look relaxed and comfortable, organize ideas, speak at the earliest. These are very simple points, so I don't think I have to analyze. Still, if you have any doubt, any confusion regarding any point, you can ask me. Don'ts: appear to be impatient, look stubborn, speak fast, get emotional, dominate vocally, look at the evaluators, or indulge in debate and altercation. So these are the don'ts and do's. If you have any doubt regarding anything, or if you have any confusion regarding group discussion, or if you want to ask anything else, you can ask me, because GD is very important in the selection process, and it is an effective tool to assess the participant, and you have to prepare yourself if you want to give your best. Okay, so do you have any doubt, any confusion? Who are there in the class? Aditya, Aksh, Sonu wants to say something.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Sonu, you are welcome to say
I want
your
to
view.
ask how to avoid group discussions converting into a debate.
Okay, how to avoid? Okay, let me think. How to avoid group discussion converting into a debate, right? Okay, so well, let me see you. Yes. So when we participate in a debate, we speak either in favor of the topic or against the topic. Okay, and while in GD there is no predetermined stand. Okay, now while you are participating in a GD, and if you see that there are some participants who speak in favor of the there are some participants who are speaking in favor of the topic, and there are some participants who are speaking against the topic. Then what you can do, how can you return it to a GD? You have to be flexible enough. That means you have to express your view from different perspective. You know, it's there is no predetermined stand, and there is no restriction that you have to